What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Alex AFE, and today we have another deck profile. So I actually did record this yesterday, but something happened with the audio and it got all screwed up, so I'm back re-recording it. So bear with me if I lose my patience a little bit. It's just, a little frustrating with timing and whatnot. So I am actually having a lot of fun playing this. It is, the typical Zorga deck in that sometimes it's great, feels absolutely amazing. You do a lot of things, sequencing feels really good. Sometimes it just doesn't hit the finish line. You're missing a piece or two. So that really hasn't gone away, but I feel like this is a very consistent build, something that's also very good in the current meta in that it can go up against a lot of stride decks and really do what it wants to do. It has a decent grade 2 game. If they decide to try to pull that on you, it has a really good ride up as well. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. And again, if you are interested in purchasing any of the cards you see here today, we do have a TCG Player affiliate link down in the description below. Absolutely no cost to you. You can help support the channel by shopping through that. Also, if you are enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like on the video, possibly consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely helps me out because I don't post as much as I used to. So, it's just a little bit more difficult with a bunch of life changes that have gone on. So not able to post quite as much. But hopping right into it, just getting into the 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going with the basic ride line. I think that this one is actually better than the newer one. I think the newer one uses energy, whatever. Whenever I was testing it, it was just like a little bit funny. I feel like just the amount of card draw cycling that you can get off of this and the recyclability of the grade 2 getting an order back is just better overall. And just a quick side note, I feel like this is going to be more of like a list with some explanation rather than like a full-on deck profile, because a lot of my content is geared towards beginners. I think that this deck is definitely not a beginner deck, so if you are looking for something, picking it up, just starting off the game, this probably isn't the one. So I'm not going to go super deep dive into every single skill. I'm making this video with the assumption that you know Zorga, and this is just more like my discussion of a list in general. So yeah, with this guy over here, I will kind of go over its skill. You really want to use this for the setup in terms of the Alchemagic thing. So act on Vanguard Circle once per turn, you get to EB2, bind a normal unit from your drop, choose up to 2 cards from your drop, call them to rear, they get 5k for each normal order with a different card name, and your bind zone at the end of the turn, retire them. So retire, clears your board, pretty good in that regard. Also just kind of sets you up, makes it very easy to get something bound, because when you would play a normal order, choose a normal order with a different card name in your bind zone, and you can Alchemagic. So very simple, probably the easiest version of Alchemagic that we really do have. You don't have to worry about, not being able to access your Alchemagic stuff once you've already bound stuff out and whatnot. The Divine skill is pretty decent as well. It's really not a game changer. I tried a pure list of this, just obviously the new grade 3, the faded one. It's just really not as great in this current meta. I feel like the mask is kind of the better choice overall. So that is the ride line right here. Let's hop right into it. We are going to be discussing our Zorga lineup. So we're maxing out on Zorgas. You want to like either Persona Ride or get the Persona Ride off of the mask. The mask also just helps us inflate numbers and get to like a decent push. The idea of this deck is that you can put more pressure on them early than they are able to outfarm. So for example, Raziel and Leverdress, you're not dying to their first grade 3 turn in most situations. Same thing with the stride decks. The stride decks need like a turn, maybe 2, to kind of go and build up to those impossible numbers that they're trying to reach to really blow you out of the game by their 3rd stride, maybe their 2nd, depending on game state. The whole point of this deck is to try to pace and get a little more aggressive to a point where they really can't farm to keep up with. And the mask unit really helps us do that. Like I said, that Persona Ride, its 2nd skill also, the, if you did Alchemagic this turn, all your front row units get that extra 10k. The fact that we have so many Zorgas also allows its last skill, the Act on Vanguard Circle, remove a card with Zorga in its card name. You basically go and get normal orders back or a unit card, whatever you want. So there's a lot of recyclability throughout different cards in this deck. The mask kind of helps us do that. And again, the faded one is decent in and of itself. Like, you could play it, sure, but like it's definitely not, I feel like, the most competitive build. Zorga's a little tough in general. You have to be the right pilot, it has to be the right matchup kind of deal, but I feel like the mask will give you the best option with that. So I do like the mask. I kind of gave that reasoning there, and let's hop into the rest of the deck over here. For the rest of the grade 3s, you can cut this down to 3, but I think at 4, this is your main unit. You really want to see this at all times. This is going to be roaming prison dragon. So we do have orders we can pop off early, so you can go and get that 15k beater on board. Who cares if they retire it? You want it in the drop anyway. Just being able to swing with the 2 crit kind of rear guard over and over is pretty good. It puts that pressure on, like I said, and kind of gets them to a point where you're aggressing further than they can really outfarm. So this is like the main engine on how to do that. Without this card, the deck would be on very thin ice, so to speak. I'm going to go a little bit out of order here in terms of the grades. I usually go in descending grade, but we are actually going to talk first about the orders, because orders are so important in this deck. we're gonna go with masks. We just run 2 of them in here, pretty easy to find overall. Is an order in and of itself. Just be aware of the act skill right there if you want to, do that the mask activation and ride the mask Zorga. It has to be from drop. It says act and drop, so I don't believe you can activate that from the bind zone. Just be careful of that. The first skill you can activate from the bind zone. That's just look at the top 5 for the mask. We are also running 1 of the bracing angel ladder, just decent. Protect some of the rear guards in the back that we might not want to be picked off. In general, we really don't have a problem refilling our board, so to speak, but in general, just giving that extra 5k, the little resilience, the card draw can help with extension, and it's also costless. I feel like a lot of stuff in this deck is kind of costless. Towards the end of the game, you will notice you will have a bunch of orders, and I feel like the recyclability mentioned earlier kind of comes into play. Giving your Vanguard just the additional drive, especially if you have to go, you can't go into a mass turn, you have to stay on a base faded one thing. I think if you do the faded one with this order right here, that is the ideal play. Just putting a lot of pressure on, a lot of numbers in general are still kind of being made throughout the Persona ride itself. A lot of things do gain power in and of itself in this deck, but at the same time, I feel like mass kind of blankets and gives us that boost that we need, because we did cut some cards that previously helped us stack columns. So I feel like just the pressure inherently through an extra drive check is definitely worth it overall. Next up over here too, Tearful Malice. We do run something with a counterblast that can be very impactful. I feel like this deck is it's not prone to being counter-starved. Like, you're not gonna fail your entire game plan because you don't have a counterblast. So it's interesting in that regard, but sometimes retiring those 2 rear guards is good. Get them off the board. Have them available to be, the roaming prison dragons back once you do the alchemy magic. Just a decent card overall. Draw a card, put it into soul, counter charge, just everything you kind of want to do. 2 Mythic Arc Habitats. I feel like it's important to find our units early. Also, this kind of serves as a mask searcher as well, because you can go get an order. Yeah, not really much to say other than that. Like, you do want to use this early, have it in the drop, maybe set it up for later. It's just a very good card overall. More extension over here. Again, this is a counterblast. We don't really use too much in the deck, but it is decent. You want to use it sparingly, so when this guy pops up, it is pretty good. Another extension piece. Look at the top deck, discard it. You could put a key piece in the drop. Totally up to you. Also, just getting stuff back that you might need for the mask play in general. Off of this, a little selective drop zone addition is not bad, and again, not a counterblast cost. We really don't have an issue with soul too much in this deck at all. So that is pretty much the order lineup. And again, all my decks are more like guidelines. They're not hard set rules that you have to follow. If you want to change things up with that order line, totally go for it. Completely up to you. For the grade 2s, we are looking pretty simple over here. We are looking at 4 Shadow Cloaks. So Shadow Cloak is just the bread and butter of this deck, along with Roaming Prison Dragon. You absolutely need it. Go search the order, put it into drop, do what you do. Set up your play. Also, if you want to get those PGs back, the second skill, when you play an order, you Soul Blast 1, this unit gets 5k. Alchemy Magic, choose another rear guard, return to hand. You revive the PGs over and over, kind of get them back. A tale as old as time in Zorga at this point. And then lastly, in terms of the multi-attack here, we are just going with 1 Keel Severing. I was trying 2. I was trying a combination. I'm actually gonna flash it over here, I guess, now at this point. Again, this one is not part of the deck, so if you're just kind of skimming through this is not part of the deck, You've been warned over here. We are, I decided not to go with this one. We're just not on the base Zorga enough, like the faded one, to really make use of this, even though I agree with the idea of it and it helps us kind of accelerate. If you're on the pure version, absolutely run like 1 to 2 copies of this maybe, but with the mask version, it's just not coming up as often as we need, and it becomes a dead card, it becomes a brick in that regard. So, but this over here, basically, if you're on the mask Zorga, and if you don't have a Keel Severing another version of it, Counterblast, retire rear guard, call us to rear guard with a Dragon Tree marker. And we are making Dragon Tree markers, and here I'll show you how in just a moment. Jumping into our grade 1s, no surprise here, we are running 4 of our PGs. Now, this is a proxy. I was just testing out because we do want to call back PGs as a unit off of Shadow Cloak. I think that I would make it 4 regular units. I was just saying that this one could be Elementaria. When in my playtesting, I didn't swap it out. I'm sorry for this video, but yeah, I would go with 4 units. We don't run like a lot of blitz orders or anything like that, but at the same time, I feel like just the ability to get them back to Shadow Cloak is more valuable than like the one-time Elementaria overall. So 4 of those. We are also running 3 of our Dragon Tree Wretches. Now, when I was playing Mass Zorga like pure back in the day, I found that I was kind of, I guess, sleeping on this card. I feel like the second skill, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose a normal order from your drop, put it into your hand. it's just really good to keep, again, recycling over and over, getting the plays started. I feel like that we don't use a ton of resources in this deck. Like, you know, you definitely do use Counterblast, Soul Blast, things like that, but like you have it typically all the time for this. Also, you can make the Dragon Tree marker off of that. I wouldn't say spam your board with it because there's really no point necessarily unless you want to kind of give your board that super power up, I guess, like maybe 2 Counterblasts in total. But more than that, I really wouldn't really do. But this guy over here, just to be able to get your orders back into play, back cycling and whatnot, is really decent. So I have that at a 3 of. Some new addition to the deck, we are looking at 1 of the Brave Shooter. This really just helps you go and find that Zorga, because ideally you want to be going to mask, but you also want to be going to the base one so that you can activate the mask over and over, because the base one helps us set up our bind zone, helps us get power onto our units, and then with the mask, not only are you getting units from the power from the additional, what is it, the names in the bind zone off of your base faded one Zorga, but you're also getting power from the mask, Persona Ride, and you're also getting the Alka Magic boost that the 10k does provide through the mask Zorga. So finding your Zorgas is very important, and this is just kind of like a top 5 searcher for that. We don't really use the ride line too much, so we can go and put those units back. Lastly, for the grade 1s over here, we are looking at 1 of the Fairy of Condolence, Trudelis. I just think at certain times, especially if you have to be stuck on base faded one Zorga, I think that just the power that this kind of gives behind is pretty decent. Also, because you're not getting that 10k blanket kind of power up to your front row, this distributing an additional 10k can really make or break at times. You know, this is a game of margins. 10k definitely makes a difference at this point in the game. At any point, I feel like, for standard now. So very decent overall. I think at 1 of, it's fine. When you see it, it's like a win more. When you don't see it, like you don't feel like you're going to lose the game because of it. So I personally do like that card. Lastly, over here, just getting into the trigger lineup. My triggers are a little bit out of order here, so give me a second to fix them, but we are looking at 1 of our Blessed Favor. Obviously, this is just good at any point in the game. Very, very effective. I think that, you know, you're never sad to hit that. Not that you're sad to hit any over trigger, but I feel like Blessed Favor always feels really, really good. We are playing Cardfight Vanguard Overdress, of course, so that means we are running, sorry for out of order and whatnot, but we are running 8 total of the crits. You can do more of the into soul crits. I just, you know, I had whatever I was left laying around. I think I just had like 1 spare that I found in my pile, so that is what it is. But yeah, we are running 8 crits. I was testing out draw versus the front triggers. The into soul draws are not bad. It's just 15k. I feel like I need at certain points that 20k shield. When I was testing it, I have a couple of the new ones. I just feel like the 20ks are better overall. Like, we don't blast through soul in a ridiculous amount that like we can't keep up with, and we're rewriting off the mask and whatnot too, and you can use the other Zorga in the drop, so it's not a huge deal overall. The 1 draw I feel like is okay. Completely change that up to whatever you feel like. I feel like it's totally like a meta call, personal call at that point. And then lastly, I think because a lot of people can grade 2 game and whatnot, I like the 4 just base heals. I feel like just having a 15k live at any point is really decent. If you need to revive this unit too, like, sure, go for it. You know, it's a 5k base instead of the 4k base on some of the other ones, and the 0k base on the front triggers, the new ones, the into soul ones. So overall, that is pretty much the deck list. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Again, this is really like, this is a going second kind of build. Most of the time you do want to go second. You can keep up with the grade 2 game, I feel like, in a lot of different ways for the Stride decks if they decide to do that to you. Stride decks always want to go second, but this will at least help and push some numbers that puts them in a precarious situation if they did end up going second and you do want to actually ride up and whatnot. So totally up to you. Change it up the way you like it. I think that this is a fun deck to play right now. I feel like when you catch an opponent off guard with it, you know, they're not expecting Zorga. Nobody's expecting Zorga right now. It is always fun to kind of have that in the system. So I like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, if you are enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like on the video, possibly consider subscribing to the channel. It's Alex from AlexCFE signing out.